What's up, Amazon sellers? Today, I'm super excited to share with you the plans which I am going to be doing to maximize revenue and profitability in Q4 and my 10 top tips that are really going to make this the best Q4 for you. Oh yeah, not to forget, I'm also going to throw in a special offer for you to stay to the end. I think you're going to like it, what's coming up. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been selling on Amazon now for about 6 years. I've done multiple millions in the UK. Our peak, we did 3 million last year, and in December alone, back in 2021, we did over £400,000, about 500,000 US. And over the last 2 years, I've been selling in the USA as well. Pretty much over the last 12 months, I've done about 1.4 million, and obviously I run Fast Track FBA. So certainly understand a thing or two about selling over the Christmas period, and I'm super excited to share these 10 top tips with you now. Let's jump into them. Number one, I want to talk about the numbers behind Q4. My plans for the current year is looking to do about 250,000, $250,000 within just December period alone. And I want to break those numbers down for you because you can obviously then take my numbers, change them for yours, and recalculate what you need to be doing in your business. So let's run it through now. First things first, top line revenue in 1 month, 250,000. That is what I'm looking at doing. Net margin wise, I'm looking at about 15% net margin we're going to do on that. And the net result from that is going to be about 37,500 take home money. This isn't gross profit that a lot of people talk about. It's actually how much I get to take home from that month alone. Most people will generally operate between about 10 and 15%. My business has been picking up, so I'm really happy with it. You kind of see 15% net margin on 250,000 in sales. Now, the next one to think about is sourcing ROI. For my team, when they are buying, sourcing the deals, what do we need to be looking at? Well, in order to achieve about 15% net margin, we're probably going to have to source around about 35 to 40% and get those products sold around that area. Right now, we're doing about 30, pushing towards 35. So I'm pretty happy that we can actually get maybe a little bit higher with the Q4 rush and have a lot more opportunity for more profitability. So that's going to be helpful. 35 to 40%, I'm happy with that. Now, the next one I'm going to be thinking about is spend. This is assuming we basically buy everything for about half the price we sell it for. Quite simply, if I'm going to be selling about $250,000 worth of stock, I'm going to be buying $125,000 worth of stock prior to that month to make sure I've got it in, ready to be sold in December as part of my operations. The next one that I really think about is my delivery speed. And this is particularly around prep and prep centers. Right now in my business, we track how much time it takes to get our stock from the supplier through our warehouse and into Amazon and on sale. Right now it's about 19 days. It's not the fastest, and I'm sure maybe yours might be a little bit faster. 19 days tells me that everything needs to be in Amazon on sale at the latest by the 20th of December. So that means my last Christmas shipment is going to probably be shipped in around about the 1st of December to make sure that everything purchased on time, to make sure that we're actually doing what we need to do to get all the sales by the 20th. One thing I really look at is once we understand the timeframes and the amount of money we've got to spend, then I'm really going to be thinking about what kind of operation do I need to run that. Deal sourcing, VAs, how much do we need to be spending? 125,000 in a month divided by 4.2 weeks is pretty much going to be about 30,000 per week. So that's a really good guesstimate to work off. And the one thing that I really do kind of understand is that each of my VAs will be working off 6 to 10K spend per week. So I'll need anywhere between 3 and 5 VAs to bring this to life. Now, the next bit I'm going to be looking at is making sure that I've actually got the right number of VAs within the business at the right time. Hiring someone the day before is not going to cut it. I have to really plan it forward. If you're thinking about hiring a VA, after the first 3 months, they're probably going to be spending maybe about 2,000 per week. That might be where they consider, but we need to get them between 6 and 10,000. So you're probably going to be adding on another month, 2 months thereafter. And if you think about November, stepping back maybe 3, 4, 5 months, you're probably looking like July, August time. You really want to be thinking about hiring a VA. They're not kind of raw, they actually know what they're doing, ready for the Q4 period. Now, the final bit that I'm going to talk about in the numbers wise is the money. Now, I talked about this before, and quite simply, if we're looking at about 125,000 in purchases that I need to make in December to generate that 250,000 spend, well, how much money am I going to need to have? Well, within my business in the USA, because we do have quite a long delivery time, you remember that 19 days that I talked about, that generally shows us that the numbers we see is that I'm pretty much having about only 1/3 of my cash in Amazon in available stock at any one time. That means if I'm going to try and buy $125,000 worth of stock, I probably need 3 times that amount of stock in order to make sure I've got enough cash from the business to be able to buy, have it shipped in and ready on sale whilst maintaining the business operations. So for me, I'm going to be thinking about credit cards, loans, Amazon loans, loans, overdrafts, any way I can get my money on or my hands on money, that is going to be super key. Now, I did mention earlier on that you do need to think about hiring a VA sooner. This is probably one of the most key important parts of Q4 getting ready, especially if you're going to have a lot of money to spend. You can't always spend it yourself, and hiring that VA is the first thing. Now, I did mention earlier on about hiring a VA, and if you are thinking about hiring a VA, I cannot stress it enough. Have a look at the Fast Track FBA VA Academy. This is a service I created whereby we've hired 600 VAs over the last 4 years for our clients. We've also given a 3-month unlimited replacement policy. So if you have any questions, any problems, you can literally get that VA replaced. We are here to support you. We've done this time and time again. So look no further, and we are going to support you in driving your business forward. Let's jump on now to the next top tips, and I'll give you a quick fire version of them to really help you out. Now, the first tip that I'm going to really recommend for you sourcing in regards to Q4 is just be super aware or careful of high ROI deals, which are actually quite slow selling during the Q4 period and that come from well-known suppliers. I cannot begin to tell you the number of products that we have bought whereby maybe they've had a 50 or 60, even 85% ROI, and they were selling maybe 20 units per month. What did we do? We bought maybe 50 because we thought Q4 is going to sell more, we'll sell it. Well, you know what? Because it came from a really well-known supplier, everyone else bought the same product. 600 units on the listing later. My God, we were still selling that thing a year later. Just be careful about sales volumes on well-known suppliers for listings which look too good to be true. They're probably going to get crashed and the money's going to be sat there for a long time. Now, the second one I'm really going to recommend for you is think about your prep center. The one thing which I say, and I've seen this myself so many times, if your prep center is going to go wrong, it will go wrong in Q4. That's the busiest time of year. And if you want to get a new prep center, you are not going to be able to get a good one in Q4. They quite simply just won't take your money. They won't even open you to new business. They all close to new customers in Q4. So my advice is to get a new prep center before Q4, ideally in Q3. And then that way you've now got 2 prep centers. And if one struggles, you can obviously send stock to the other one and your Q4 is not going to be impacted. Now, the third top tip I'll share to you is think about money. I talked about it before, getting loans, credit cards, but at a fundamental level, you will never have enough money. Like really, I've had 6-figure loans, Amazon credit cards, and we still managed to spend so much cash. And what I'll say for you is just, if you think you've got enough, you probably haven't, try and find some more. That's going to be a game changer to really maximizing this opportunity. Now, I know sellers who are making more money in Q4 than Q1, 2, and 3 combined have the money available to be able to spend. Now, the next one to think about for me, and I really think about it in our business, is canceled orders. You are going to be getting canceled orders all the time because things are sold out, maybe things aren't working with the supplier, something's gone wrong. But what you do not want to be happening is you getting canceled orders because that supplier does not allow resellers. If that supplier is doing that, then it means that you haven't done your due diligence before. You should have realized that that supplier will not sell to you, and there's no point wasting your time looking at those amazing deals which aren't going to be amazing because you've now just wasted your time buying those deals, and you've got to wait 5 days for that money to come back onto your credit card. So know your suppliers which are going to work and focus and double down on them. My next top tip for you is going to be credit cards. Now, not specifically around getting more credit, but letting your credit card providers know that you plan to be spending a lot of money during the Q4 period. Number one, they give you protection, but number two, you get points. I've flown first class on points, and I've done it with only a 1 week's worth of spend, and you too can as well. Just make sure that you know your credit card company is expecting you to spend big. That is not fraud. That's the last thing you want, and they automatically ship you out a new card in the middle of Q4 and you can't use it. So trust me, give them a call now, let them know. Now, one of the biggest issues I've seen around people who are building a team, growing and scaling a business is they hire one VA. And the biggest problem they find is they put so much pressure on them in the Q4 period. What happens? The VA quits. I've literally seen it time and time again whereby that seller has said, oh my God, my Q4 is over. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have a job. I can't do it. If you have one VA, maybe you're thinking about getting another one, just do it. Honestly, I cannot stress this enough. Why? The cost of hiring a VA, the cost of managing them, getting them trained up is nothing in comparison to the profitability you are going to generate over that time period. And I think that's so important. Like I've seen it in my own business, VAs quit over this period. It's a very stressful time of year. And if maybe you're worried about that, maybe your VA isn't up to performance, or maybe you're not a top performer, then perhaps maybe you want to think about hiring a second one, just so you've got some fallback in case something happens. Now, if you are thinking about getting that VA, do not hire them in November. It's the worst thing you can do. They're brand new. It's like starting Amazon on December the 1st. It's like, it's already game over. You should have done this a long time ago. You want to be able to give them time to level up their skills. You want them to understand how to source to your standards, sourcing the right suppliers and stores that are going to work. And then once they've done that, then they're going to be at top of their game, ready for that October, November, December. So if you are thinking about getting a VA, do hire them early. I cannot stress that enough. And also do have a look at the Fast Track FBA VA Academy. me, this is what we're here to do and help you out. Now, a top tip that I would strongly recommend you is network with other sellers, learn, go back and watch other YouTube videos around Q4, see what everyone else is saying, listen, absorb, and take on that information. And the real things you're looking for, like what suppliers have great sales, how did they get the great sales last year? Asking those questions before Q4, you're likely to get some really good answers. When you're in the middle of Q4, they might not tell you because they're trying to protect that information. But if you do your research and due diligence beforehand, you are going to be on fire and it's going to really, really help you out. So do that research and network. The final top tip I'm going to share for you is if you are thinking about hiring a VA, look at the Fast Track FBA VA Academy. But not only that, why? Well, quite simply, we've got a special offer for you that I think you're going to really love. I'm going to drop a link down below and you're going to see that offer, take advantage of it, and it's going to really help you grow your business. I look forward to seeing you in my VA Academy private Facebook group, asking great questions about how your VA has changed the game for you and made this the best Q4 ever. Trust me, I've never looked back, and I think you too won't as well. Check it out. I think you're going to love it, and hire a VA from us today.